IPMNation.com.
Welcome to Blunt Force with Giazilla. Rawrr.
And Wade Rawrr.
Wade Rawrr.
Woo, in the house.
In the house. What's in the news today? Let's look. Oh, happy World Giraffe Day.
How about that?
That's awesome. I love giraffes.
Yeah, I do too, man. They're awesome.
I think I kind of look like a giraffe a little bit.
You think?
It doesn't take much.
Well,
I've been a giraffe for Halloween before.
maybe we need some pictures of that.
I have pictures of it. Maybe you would make a good giraffe.
Well, you never know.
Well, since it's World Giraffe Day, maybe we'll have to do something for that. All right, so let me read a little blurb here. The Cleveland Metro Park Zoo is celebrating World Giraffe Day by revealing the name of its new calf. Calf, right?
Yeah,
How do I say things so weird?
the baby calf.
The little guy was born on April 15th and weighed less than normal at 101 pounds. Since then, he's been gaining weight and becoming part of the zoo's giraffe herd. Zoo visitors were given 3 choices for his name, voted by making a donation. The options were tributes to the giraffe's native region in Africa and his low birth weight. The winning name was Kidojo, meaning little.
Oh,
The donations will go toward helping giraffes in the wild. Aww.
he's a giraffe calf. It almost sounds like an order from Starbucks or something.
Giraffe Cafe.
He's French.
Extra spots, please.
Yeah,
Kidojo, little. That's cute.
that is cool.
He was like a little preemie. Oh, before we go too far into the podcast, I wanted to say that Lauren DeLuca from CIAAG.
We love her.
Yes, .net. You might remember that. Is it .net? Hold on, let me get that right. Uh-oh, my notes. Oh, yeah, it is .net. Okay. So, you can find her on Twitter at CIAAG_Lauren. If you are a veteran who has had a hard time obtaining pain medications or been generally treated like crap through the VA, you may remember Miss DeLuca as going to that opioid summit, the RX summit, excuse me, and being basically detained and harassed and treated like crap and held against her will and kicked out of the event, which she was a paying member. She bought tickets for all of the workshops and was also a paid hotel guest. And they really treated her crappy. But she went on Matt Connerton. If you guys missed that show, I don't want to say the date. I think it was May 15th, though. Well, look for her in Matt's archives, Matt Connerton Unleashed on IPMNation.com. She did a fantastic interview with Matt. So I'm bringing her up because she has managed to procure attorneys who are willing to fight on behalf of veterans who have been harmed by the CDC guidelines, and they're going to do it pro bono.
Nice.
So any veterans out there, if you've, suffered or been denied adequate care or treatment, please contact Lauren and if you want to tell your story and you want to get representation. This goes further than just not getting prescriptions. There was on the CDC guidelines page information about human clinical trials that has now since been removed since the RX summit when Lauren came out with this information. There
Right.
was information in there about how they were trying to get human trials legalized. Well, the only reason why they would want to do that is so that they could do human trials, which we've
Right.
already discovered they have been doing. So it goes further than just not getting your medication. I mean, there's a lot of corrupt, sinister stuff going on. So you served our country, you deserve proper health care, and this is one more way that you can fight back injustice of human clinical trials with people having no understanding, knowledge, and not consenting to.
Right. Unbelievable, man.
A lot of people don't realize that this whole opioid stuff, hysteria, started with the veterans first. They were denied access way before the general population was.
Wow.
And in a way, that's its own trial, right?
Yeah. I mean, it has to be, right?
Right, but the trial that Lauren had discovered, and subsequently this knowledge got her kicked out of the summit, was that they were doing trials by telling hospitals for this so many patients only give them this, and for this at another hospital for this is post surgery only give them this, or don't give them anything, just give them Tylenol or give them nothing at all. Trying to say try Suboxone here, try Opana here, try whatever.
Right.
So that's trials on people
Sure.
because there needs to be a standard protocol of care across the board.
Right.
And now, what I've read today is the CDC and others are trying to come up with even more guidelines, but very specific guidelines to acute pain and post-surgical pain and what body part was worked on. And are you a female or are you a male? So now they're trying to genderize medicine. And the women are going to get the shitty end of the stick.
Mm.
They're going to say they require less, they tolerate pain better, they can have children, they're built for pain. Just because we're built for it doesn't mean that we should have to experience it.
Right.
It's bullshit.
Crazy.
Yeah, so it's madness. But, as I just found out last week, trying to just get simple prescriptions from the same pharmacy and the same doctors filled at a different location was a nightmare.
Right.
So although the CDC renounced or denounced the guidelines on April 24th, 2019, nothing's really been done.
Yeah.
So yeah, hook up with Laura, and if you are a veteran and you want to get justice for what's been done to you, and by doing that, it'll help, there'll be a trail of positivity from behind that. And America needs to take the lead in this and let the other countries follow us. Because, we have friends in Australia
Right.
and in the UK, and where they don't even acknowledge Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
I don't even know what to say about that. It's crazy.
There's been suicides, and I'm not going to mention any names, but somebody very, very close to me, after watching her struggle, she did, she's one of 7 that I've known since the 2015 guidelines. But she and I were particularly close, and you see stuff on Facebook where people are struggling,
Right.
and that's their outlet to talk about it. And sometimes, these people could appear to be whiny pain in the butts with nothing better to do than cry on Facebook. But that's not always the case, we always joke about that one annoying person that always posts negative stuff. But I'm talking about someone who was in torturous pain
Right.
every day of her life to the point that she's driven to suicide.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know.
And there's nothing you can do on the other end of the computer, let alone across the pond. You know what I mean?
It just seems so inhumane to me to let someone suffer like that. We need a global standard of healthcare and
Yeah, well, there is, and they're ignoring it. Like in the case of my mother, where we actually brought it in, this evidence-based medicine, this science-based backed medicine about the rare genetic problem that she had, and how what they were doing was making it worse.
Right.
And every single time we would get someone to finally listen to us, and they would follow that standard of care, she would improve. And then it's a teaching hospital. So other staff doctors would come on and they would be, oh, what? She's got an open wound. She needs more protein. And they would pound her with protein and we would show back up at the hospital the next day and she'd be in a coma.
Right.
And then we would have to fight. And oh man, that's the part that makes you want to kill yourself. Because last week when I was suffering, it wasn't the actual physical pain. It was that no one's listening to me and this is never going to change.
Yeah.
That's the part that makes you go, fuck this. I can't do this anymore.
Right.
So, all right. I don't want to be doomy and gloomy all day long, but it's the reality of a lot of our lives. And thank you, Lauren, for working tirelessly, always, on some project or another to try to rectify this problem.
Yeah, that girl's a warrior.
Definitely.
For sure. Hats off to her.
Right? And we don't take our hats off very often.
No, I'll leave mine on, man.
Freaking weirdo. What other day is it today? Anything else?
It is the first day of summer.
Ooh.
Summer solstice, 2019.
Which means it's the longest.
It is the longest day of the year.
Right. It's a happy day for anybody who is a pagan or a witch. Or,
right,
or a nature-based rhythms of the nature lover. Follow the seasons.
Lots of witchy stuff's going on today.
The moons and the stars.
Happy.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of rituals, planned around the Bay Area. I used to go to some of them once in a while, and, some were nice, but most of them were just, I don't know, I always felt out of place in a group setting.
Right.
So let me read a little blurb on our summer solstice. The summer solstice, the start of summer, the longest day of the year, there's a lot going on this June 21st. Now, a lot of people thought the solstice was yesterday.
I don't know why I was seeing stuff posted yesterday.
I saw a couple articles, too. And so I was like, I'm going to go to the Old Farmer's Almanac and a couple other sources that I know are true.
Right.
And make sure. Because it does fluctuate, but the summer solstice and the winter solstice rarely fall off the 21st, if ever.
Yeah, I don't...
Now, the vernal and the autumnal do. Kind of. Just, depends on what's going on in outer space. Today marks the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere. On that day, the sun is directly over the Tropic of Cancer, located at 23.5 degrees north, and the Earth's north pole is tilted furthest toward the sun. The date of the summer solstice varies from year to year, landing between June 20 to June 22nd. This year, it falls on June 21st, officially arriving at 1554 UTC across the globe. That's 1054 Central Time. Very cool. Yeah. I love the universe.
Yeah, welcome to summer.
June 22nd solstices are rare. The last one was in 1975, and the next one won't be until 2203. Solstice Latin for solstitium, or sun-stopping, is often called the longest day of the year, meaning it has the most hours of sunlight and the shortest nights. It's very good for marijuana plants. And they love it.
No wonder I'm tired. Shortest nights, longest days.
Your solstice song is wasted days and wasted nights.
It's just a wearing on me, Gia.
It's a wearing on me. Well, we want to start talking some hillbilly stuff. Let's talk about what's going on in freaking Missouri and Alabama. What the heck?
I don't know, man. Crazy stuff.
Are they trying to roll us back? I mean, who's in control of this and what are they doing?
I couldn't say.
Well, maybe you can say after I read a few short snips here. Missouri's health department will not renew Planned Parenthood of St. Louis' license to perform abortions, according to a letter from the state's health department, provided to CBS News. However, a district judge will allow the clinic to continue to perform abortions for now. In late May, the clinic sued the state for refusing to renew its license, which was set to expire on May 31st. A district judge granted Planned Parenthood a preliminary injunction, allowing the clinic to continue. But the state's deadline to make a decision was today. In court on Friday, Judge Michael Stetzer allowed the preliminary injunction to stand until he made a final decision. Now the judge will decide whether the license battle will stay within the jurisdiction of this court or head to an administrative hearing. Yeah, they're trying to get this to the Supreme Court again.
Yeah, they're trying to push a lot of issues up there, I guess. I don't know. I don't see where it's broke at. I don't see that it needs fixing.
Now there's definitely some underlying thing.
I mean, as far as Planned Parenthood having the right to have a license to perform abortions.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's something underfoot, because in another article, and for the same area, well, this is actually Alabama. This blows my mind, Wade. What has been the single most purveyor of crime and suffering and death and brutality since the onset of mankind?
Has to be religion.
Bingo! You are a winner, chicken dinner.
Nice.
But we're not winning anything here because it's shitty. New Alabama law permits church to hire its own police force.
I don't.
What the freaking frack?
You can't privatize a police force.
We can't go there.
That's a security force. It's not a police force.
That's not what they're saying here.
I know.
The sanctuary at Briarwood Presbyterian Church in Birmingham, Alabama, very mega church, really. Alabama government Kay Ivey has signed legislation permitting the church to hire its own police force. Not security force. Police force.
I don't...
Alabama Governor Kay Ivey signed into law Wednesday a measure granting the Briarwood Presbyterian Church the right to set up its own law enforcement agency to cover its sanctuary, seminary, and sprawling school campuses, despite criticism that the measure was unconstitutional. This is what's going on right now. They're doing shit that's not in our Constitution.
Yeah, it's unconstitutional. By whose standards are these policemen trained?
I know.
Well, I mean, that's so wrong, and that's going to go bad.
And now, if I went out and I got a gun and I said I have deemed myself the police force of my own church, they'd throw me in the wacko tank.
You know?
This is ridiculous.
Cops for Jesus.
Oh, God, that's scary. That's scary.
That's exactly what it is, though, and I'll tell you what's going to happen.
They're going to kill people who don't believe what they believe.
If they let this happen, someone's going to get hurt.
We're not talking about normal, logical people who believe in a deity and they go to church on Sunday to be around other like-minded people and to get spirituality and comfort and happiness out of the experience. We are talking about psychos like the guy who was saying that if you are an abortion, or we did a show on this, or an abortion supporter, you're going to burn in a lake.
Right.
You're going to be aborted repeatedly. And all of this horrible stuff is going to come to you. And the worst possible thing at all is that you're going to be there for thousands of years, for eternity, and God is going to forget who you are.
Right.
And they laugh all gleefully, like, ha 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 ha. One of those guys is going to get a hold of a gun and be like, do you believe in God? And yeah, are you a Christian? They're going to go around shooting Muslims. They're going to go around shooting Jewish people. They're going to go around shooting atheists and agnostics and any other sect of the Christian church that there's 40,000 of them because these people can't get together and agree on one book, holy.
Right.
This is going to end up bad.
No, it's going to end horribly. Someone's going to get hurt or killed. And, then where are we going to be, man? I mean, you can look at our police force in America and see how flawed it is and realize that this isn't going to work out very well. And you throw that religious thing in there, and now they're doing it for Jesus, man. That gets people all pumped up and
I'm afraid of the southern states right now.
And
I love Georgia, but I can't, I'm not going back there to visit my friends or to enjoy the state because I do love it and I love the people there.
Right.
Because wacko crap like this is happening.
Yeah, I don't know. Alabama's beautiful, man. Georgia's beautiful. The whole South is gorgeous, man. And it's just like
they've got weirdos running it.
I'm from there and I love it, but man, I'm so glad I'm not there right now.
Jeez, well, at least Oklahoma isn't being that kooky, are they?
I mean, what's next? Yeah, you know what I mean? Who's next? It's all in the South happening.
Do these guys get to dinner, go to dinner at night? These governors and of each state and sit together and talk about just destroying women and shooting people that don't believe what they believe. I mean, how is this even coming about? Feels like there's something sinister behind this.
I don't know. I mean, that's a big, nice church. I would say they probably got robbed a couple of times or something.
Well, I think every church in America has the right to have some safety concerns, considering all the freaking wackos out there who shoot up churches and bomb churches.
For sure, me too. And I know churches are scared behind that, and I get it.
But this church is I have a big problem with mega churches. I'm okay with the little church on the corner with a congregation of 100 to a couple hundred people getting their money to keep their church running.
Right.
But I'm not okay with these super gigantic mega churches with all this incredible wealth not paying taxes. And now they're going to get their own police force? I need a church. That's it. I'm filing.
Yeah, if you can afford your own police force, you can afford to pay some taxes there.
Right?
I mean,
they're probably going to pay them higher also than what our civil servants get paid.
Oh, I'm sure.
Well, let's find out. Let me read a little bit about it. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. A similar measure, first proposed 4 years ago, was dropped in 2017 after opponents argued that it grants government power to a religious institution in violation of the Establishment Clause. Church officials say they need their own police force to protect its 4,100 members, 2,000 students, and 2 campuses in neighboring Jefferson and Shelby counties, especially in light of armed attacks on schools and churches. Critics say the megachurch already has private security, and under the new law, it would gain state authority that could be abused if officers were only answerable to church officials. Duh!
Right. Hello.
Jesus. Randall Marshall, the executive director of the ACLU of Alabama, told the Associated Press he expects the law, which goes into effect in the fall, will be challenged in the courts. Well, of course it will.
Certainly.
Other critics say the church, which is a member of the Conservative Presbyterian Church in America denomination, has a history of racism and homophobia. Oh my God, there you go.
Wow.
Do not give these MRFers guns. Because the church that big, 4,000 members, and 2,000 students, that's tuition, they cannot afford to hire off-duty police officers
to be their
security during functions. Just like if I want to rent the Veterans Hall, I have to rent off-duty police officers to come and be security at my wedding or my whatever I'm having, quinceañera or whatever.
Right.
So why, that's the solution. This is scary.
It's crazy.
You guys, if you don't realize how scary this is, oh my God.
I mean, hopefully, certainly they're going to overturn this.
Church officials said current Alabama state law allows certain educational institutes to appoint and employ one or more suitable persons to act as police officers to keep off intruders and prevent trespass upon the institution, according to a statement made in WBRC in Birmingham. Okay, so let me read that again. Church officials said current Alabama state law allows certain educational. Okay, so how many grade schools have their own police force?
I don't know. That's an interesting question. I would think that's probably for colleges. They put that little clause in there, and now this church is trying to take advantage of that.
I wonder how long ago that clause was put in. I'm going to research this because this is freaking me out. Because if it was a recent kind of just lobby slipped in thing,
right,
then I want to find out how much money this particular church is given to whichever politician.
right, slip
this in, yeah.
I don't know. Arming religious people up is really not a good idea. See the Crusades for more info on that.
Well, let's go through it. We've got the Crusades. We've got the Holocaust.
I mean, man.
We've got my daughter's entire tribe, except for her grandmother, which you could read about by Googling Lily Yellow Jacket in Humboldt, California. Her entire tribe was decimated by Christians. Let's see. We've got all of the conflict in the Middle East, which is all this God stuff.
Based.
I mean, come on, you guys. It's the greatest purveyor of violence of any other issue ever known to man. And you can't prove it.
It seems like the greatest story ever told, man. You know what I mean?
I'm not going to sit here and say don't believe what you want to believe. But, yeah. If you look at it from the viewpoint that I have, it just doesn't make any damn sense. None of it. It's too conflicting. It's too many people's ideas. It's an obvious power play. It's an obvious play for control, and it works. It works.
It so works.
People will sit there and they will fight me, and I'll say, neither you nor I know. I know. I know. No, you don't, fool.
Organized religion is really just a government plot, in most cases, to control people.
Scary. All right, so this church guy says, we are grateful to the governor and our elected officials for approving a request to be added to the existing Alabama law, the statement concluded. This is from NPR. Wow. That's freaky deaky.
Yeah, it's a hell of a deal, man.
Especially freaky deaky when one considers the next article that we have to talk about.
Yeah.
Which I'm looking up right now. Okay. All right, you guys, get ready for this. Settle in. Grab your tea. Grab your joint, whatever you need to get through this story.
Yeah, maybe take a shot if that's your beverage of choice.
A shot. Of what, Wade?
I don't know. Mine would be rum.
Ugh, you pirate. Give me an Irish whiskey any day.
I like that rum.
I know, it's so gross. I don't know why I don't like it.
It's weird.
All right, this is kind of a funny story, but it's not funny if you're going to put guns in the hands of these 20,000 plus people. Thousands petition Netflix to cancel Amazon Prime's Good Omens. U.S. Christian group condemns Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett's story as making Satanism appear normal, but petitioned the wrong company. The group admits error in petitioning Netflix about Good Omens. Okay, so that's the update. More than 20,000 Christians have signed a petition calling for the cancellation of Good Omens, the television series adapted from Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman's 1990 fantasy novel. unfortunately addressing their petition to Netflix when the series is made by Amazon Prime, Wade.
Brilliant. Well done,
They got
people.
20,000 people.
Wonder who lost their job over that.
Not one person out of 20,000 people was like, this is not a Netflix.
They didn't even know enough about what they were getting all up in arms about
Right.
to know it was not on that network.
No, right.
Don't let other people tell you what to do. Jesus, man.
You see this all the time. All the
Come
time
on.
on social media. People will just go off and then you'll be like, oh yeah, that was like a fake story. That was from The Onion.
And this is funny. This is funny, kind of.
Well,
but
until you put guns in their hands?
Yeah, till you arm those people.
Alright, so the 6-part series was released last month, starring David Tennant as the Demon Crowley and Michael Sheen as the Angel Aziraphale?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, good enough.
Who collaborate to prevent the coming of the Antichrist and imminent apocalypse. Crouch's last request to Gaiman before he died was that he adapt the novel they wrote together. Gaiman wrote the screenplay and worked as showrunner on BBC Amazon co-production, which the Radio Times called a devilishly funny love letter to the book. But Christians marshaled by the Return to Order campaign, an offshoot of the U.S. Foundation for a Christian Civilization, disagree. Alright, so these people are called the Return to Order campaign. That's scary.
What the hell does that mean?
Now they're giving guns to people to protect churches. I mean, these aren't the same people, but, you know.
Right.
How do we know? This might all be related. Or they might have the same mindset. Once one church gets a police force, then won't they all want one?
Well, yeah, every mega church will have to have one. Then it's like a preacher getting a jet.
Yes. Amen,
You know?
brother. Amen. Preach.
Well, I don't know.
But Christians marshaled by the Return to Order campaign. God, that's scary. These people didn't even get the right place, but they want to return us to order?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe go to school. Maybe like pay attention to the world around you. Maybe find out about science.
Maybe just take it down a notch.
Jeez, trying to tell people what the fuck to do.
Bullshit, man.
Can't watch this show. Well, let's find out why they don't like this show. All right. So, the Return to Order campaign is an offshoot of the U.S. Foundation for Christian Civilization. Foundation for a Christian Civilization. Don't you people realize that we have Buddhists and Muslims and Hindus and Jewish people, and this world doesn't revolve around your dumbass?
Right.
I don't want to be offensive to my Christian
Any one
friends,
of those
but
groups.
I know you guys don't think like this. I know anybody who's a friend of mine who happens to be a Christian doesn't come from this mindset. They're not this ridiculous with stuff. You know? It's these fundamentalist people that scare the crap out of me.
That scares the living shit out of me, man.
It's freaky. More than 20,000 supporters have signed the petition in which they say that the good omen is another step to make Satanism appear normal, light, and acceptable. Okay, I'm going to explain this one more time. Satanists do not believe in Satan, and they do not believe in God. Satanists who follow Anton LaVey's teachings are opposite of Christianity. They denounce Christianity and all of its dogma.
Right.
What these people are confusing are what you might want to call a devil worshiper. Devil worshippers are just idiots.
Right.
And there really aren't that many of them, really. I mean, when's the last time you heard of any kind of a human sacrifice? The 80s, Mexico, what's his name?
Right. Right. Costanza.
Yeah, it's not happening all the time, you guys. There's not like a bunch of devil worshippers out there wreaking havoc.
And his was voodoo. It wasn't even Satanism,
Right. You're more likely to be eaten by a massive huntsman spider than you are to be killed by a devil worshiper.
Well, I guess one would be just as pleasant as the other.
I mean, I don't understand. The people who are shooting up these churches aren't typically other religious sects.
No,
They're incels, these disturbed white Ute
right. Yeah,
doing that kind of
they're just
stuff.
people with brain glitches, I think.
Yeah.
And there's a certain you get a large ass number of people, like, oh, I don't know, say the population of the United States. That's gonna happen some.
Right. Yeah. I mean, especially when every time it happens, they release the person's picture and their name, and these guys want this fame. Stop doing that.
Right.
Stop. Just say some psycho who we won't at name did this, and they're a horrible person, and now they're dead because they killed themselves. Because that's usually what happens. All right. Let's see. So they're upset because they don't know the difference between a Satanist and a devil worshiper, and they think that Satanism is normal, light, and acceptable, and mocks God's wisdom. I know some Satanists, and they are the most sound people, pretty much, that I know, because their think is all about self-responsibility and being a decent human being, and not blaming other people for your problems, and manifesting what you want out of life.
I lived with a Satanist for a little over a year in prison, so we were pretty,
Hmm.
right there up each other's ass, so to speak.
Ooh,
Uh,
not literally.
no, not literally, but in a small cell. You know what I mean?
We're just clarifying that so
Yeah,
that people don't start calling you a sodomite and
Jesus.
coming over here to shoot us.
No, but he was a real sound guy, man.
Yeah.
He he knew the Bible better than all the Christian people did.
Right? Because you have to if you're not Christian. That way you can defend yourself. Sometimes.
Right.
I did a little bit of that when Yahoo Chat first came out.
Yeah.
I would go in. There was like a Christian group, and there were other like religious groups, but there was one that was just called religion, and it was for everybody. But it was always the Christians that would come in there and try, like the fundamentalist Christians that would come in there and try to like pick fights with everybody and argue and debate.
Right.
So, a lot of us like to brush up. That way we could, be armed a little bit in the debate, which I wouldn't waste my time on now. I was in my early 20s and I was learning still also.
Well, and he's the guy that got me reading the Bible once a year.
Right.
He would read it once a year, and he would read the
Right.
Satanic Bible once a year, and he had this,
Well, he's educating himself.
yeah, he was smart, and he wasn't kooky at all.
No. No, I'm saying, I mean, the only thing I disagree with is why call yourself a Satanist? That you're just trying to be like, probably, not, I guess Anton LaVey was making a point. So, but I have a lot of the same principles and agree with a lot of their thinking. I just don't call myself a Satanist because I'm not. But
Right.
yeah,
I think he wanted the freedom in there. I don't think he was faking it. He was just like, well, according to your own book, all you have to do to be a devil worshiper or a Satanist is not worship God, and that is kind of what the Bible says about it. So
right,
so that's just the way he. But that way he did have certain religious rights
right.
in there. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
So
yeah. If I had to pick one, and that was one of the ones I agreed with most, I'd pick it.
right,
Okay, so these people who are not smart enough to even realize that they're petitioning the wrong network, they don't want Satanism to appear to be normal, light, and acceptable, or to mock God's wisdom. Oh, this is the big truth, okay? God, they complain, is voiced by a woman. Frances McDormand. We can't have God's voice be a woman.
why not?
Wade. Because Women have vaginas.
Women are less.
Women scare men with their vagina powers. We already know this. This is why, we're going through this whole abortion thing. And the reason why I keep saying vagina, vagina, vagina is because when played that song about the vaginas, you got uncomfortable.
Well.
And you're the one that told me because we fear them. And I'm like, what the fuck?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Did I say that?
You did.
I don't know what that means.
You said men fear the almighty vagina.
I think men know that if women ever just really put their foot down about the shit,
well, we're gonna have
be the
to.
end of it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. Just get some support. How much time do we have left? I still have a lot to talk about. I'm irritated with these people. Okay, so they don't want God's voice to be spoken by a woman. Well, I'm telling you, I've died twice and I've been in a coma, and I've had experiences, and it's always this very soothing, ethereal, powerful, and beautiful female voice that talks to me.
Mm.
Always.
I've never heard the voice of God, but I think if I did, I wouldn't really care if it was male or female.
Now, I can't say if this was God or if this was just chemicals in my brain, but it happened during death and it happened in the coma. And it was kind of like if you ever watched The Land Before Time. Littlefoot's mom that comes from the heavens and speaks to him. It was like that.
Wow. People are so staunch in their religious beliefs. It's like, you know what? You could be wrong.
Well, yeah.
I mean, isn't that a sign of intelligence to
Yes.
to say, hey, I don't know every damn thing, and I'm not going to take someone else's word for it?
Right. Well, the smartest people in the world will admit they know nothing in the grand scheme of things.
Right.
We know very, very, very little. But I do know that these people are idiots. All right. So these particular people that signed this petition to the wrong company.
Not wrong about that.
Right. So they said God was a woman, voiced by a woman. We can't have that. And their other complaint is that the Antichrist is a normal kid. And most importantly, this type of video makes light of truth, error, good and evil, and destroys the barriers of horror that society still has for the devil. They are calling on Netflix to cancel the Amazon Prime show.
Oh, man. Can you imagine getting that phone call at Netflix? You're like, let me handle this one, Bill.
Oh, man. It sounds like that church, Westboro, the God Hates Fags group.
Right.
Sounds like those wackos. What if they get guns? That's it.
I mean, that could be.
That's it.
According to.
That's the fear right there. So Gaiman responded to the petition on Twitter, writing, I love that they are going to write to Netflix to try and get #GoodOmens canceled. Says it all, really. This is so beautiful. Promise me you won't tell them. The publisher and science fiction critic Cheryl Morgan tweeted, miraculously, God has already done it. Don't tell them. She put it on Amazon instead. Return to the Order is based on the writings of author John Horvath II. It calls upon Americans to put principles into action by working toward what is called an organic Christian society. Another of its petitions in April called on Walmart to stop selling satanic products following a 2018 protest against a blasphemous ice cream chain called Sweet Jesus.
You know, that's an individual thing. I'm going to tell you one damn thing. I'd like to have a pint of that Sweet Jesus ice cream today. It's hot. It's hotter than the fires of hell, and I think...
What did you say the other day? It's hotter than the devil's asshole.
That's right. And I think Jesus would want me to have some ice cream.
Well, I'm gonna stop with this because I really don't want to offend anybody, but I don't think any of my friends would be offended by this, but I'm just gonna take one good thing out of the South one of the many good things that I know about the South. But I'm just gonna be like zoning right now, and I'm just gonna say, well, bless their hearts.
Mm-mm-mm.
Mm, mm-mm. And that's the end of that. God, I feel like I need a nap.
Jeez.
That was a lot.
It was. That's a lot of extra.
Extra, extra. Well, as long as they're giving anti-abortion, anti-ice cream, anti-women guns in the South at their churches, I'm just going to stay out of the South for a little while.
Mm.
Because you know me, I'm the kind of a person get her ass shot
Right.
by some crazy. I haven't seen these Good Omen show, but now I want to.
I know. I haven't seen Lucifer either. They say that one's really good. I just don't know. I'm not into those kind of things. I'll tell you what it is for me. They canceled these shows, and it pisses me off because they
Yeah,
never conclude.
right.
I want a conclusion at the end where I can walk away and go, oh, that was a great series of shows. That was a great 5 seasons or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they really, really, really screwed it up by canceling Santa Clarita Diet on such a freaking fantastic, what are those things called, cliffhangers?
Mm.
It was a great show, and Drew Barrymore and her co-star, I don't remember his name, he was fantastic. Even all the actors in it were great, and it was new and it was fresh. Why would they leave you on a cliffhanger like that and then just be like, oops?
I guess Ashton Kutcher said they're going to cancel the ranch. They're gonna do 20 more episodes. They're gonna release 10 this year and 10 next year or something.
Well, once they like took Danny Masterson out of it without what I believe to be any real cause, it pissed me off, and I knew it was doomed. It was his show.
So many
He,
good actors though. It's a good show.
I know it's
You
a
know.
great show, and it sucks, but until you guys know how I feel. Until you are charged at least with the crime, you just can't take someone's show away from them like that.
Yeah. Too
Stupid.
much.
It's too much involvement. People just doing whatever they want nowadays.
Huh.
We're edging toward a lawless society, Wade.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, Santa Cruz is a good example of that.
Tell you what I did here is that Oklahoma is fixing to either did just pass something or is gonna pass something that says even if you're a convicted felon, if it's 10 years old, I think, you can be an armed citizen and open carry without a license.
I read that too, and I also read that they're trying to get voter rights back. That they feel like if you've made a mistake and you've gone and done your time, when you return to society, you should be able to vote.
Well,
And I agree.
now, I thought, and I know at one time it was this way in Oklahoma, that if you had discharged your sentence completely, like if you were on probation or any of that, you had to discharge that.
Right.
But once you were done with it, then your voting rights were automatically reinstated.
Let me look it up real quick because I did read that article, but I just skimmed it. Individuals. Oh, okay, you're right. Individuals convicted of a felony are ineligible to vote while in prison, on parole, or on probation. Voting rights automatically restored 2 years after completion of all supervised release, except if convicted of treason.
Oh,
Ex-offenders should re-register to vote.
so there's a 2 year. I
Yeah.
don't agree with that.
I'm gonna look at that article that I was reading because maybe they're wanting to give more rights to like inmates. Maybe that's what it was about. It went even further than
Mm,
that. But I got sidetracked and my phone's gonna die soon. So let me get to these two last stories.
all right, all right.
This is freaking. This is not as freaky as Christian churches having guns, but it is kind of. A huntsman spider eats a pygmy possum inside a ski lodge at Mount Phil National Park in Tasmania. Roger, don't be alarmed. That was the warning Justine Latton's husband issued before instructing his friend to look above his head. The pair had been in the middle of fixing a door inside an old ski lodge at Mount Field National Park in Tasmania when Lattin's husband noticed they weren't alone. Less than a foot away, a huntsman spider, about the size of an adult's hand, was perched near the top of the door, and a dead pygmy possum was dangling from its gleaming black fangs. Kind of disgusting, weird, and amazing, Lattin told the Washington Post. She thought when her husband, who requested that his name not be used, first showed her photos of the grisly scene back in April. Lattin wasn't the only person shocked by the possum-eating spider. Pictures of the hairy arachnid and its mammalian snack, shared to Facebook last week by Lattin, have since gone viral, highlighting an unusual occurrence that spider experts find fascinating, about others calling the stuff of nightmares. But as striking as the photos may seem, Lattin stressed the importance of understanding scale. While the spider was one of the biggest her husband had ever seen, the dead possum was about the size of a large walnut, she said. There are 2 species of the minuscule marsupial found in Tasmania. Wow.
Damn.
Wow. I think the pictures are probably scarier than the story. Just
Yeah,
a big spider
probably
eating
so.
a little possum.
Well, I mean, Hakuna Matata, Gia, circle of life.
I know, but when I read that, I wanted more.
I kind of want to see that picture now, though. We're going to look.
I never read the whole story, usually, until I read it for you guys, because I want to be, like, in the inn. There's a picture right there.
Damn. I mean, that is a big spider, for sure.
Yeah, but, you know, I mean, I've seen tranchies that big.
It's a pygmy
Possum.
so, you know, that means dwarf.
But look at the caption is, so this spider is eating a possum and I may never sleep again. Because if you think about a spider eating like a regular possum, that's creepy.
Yeah, it'd have to be a hell of a spider then, but this is a pygmy possum. It's the size of a hamster.
Yeah, that
or
was
something.
a flop story, you guys. That sucks. I'm sorry.
Screw them, guys. What's the next one?
Gosh darn it. They are not professionals.
That's crap.
I need to start reading the whole story. I want to be in the part, I want it to be new and fresh when I read it.
I like the organic feel of reading fresh for the first time on.
But then you bomb.
Well, this once.
But then
But did
you
we
make
bomb
up for
or
it.
did we learn?
Turn that frown upside down.
Yeah, we just got a teaching moment out of it.
I'm trying to name you a show right now in my head.
Damn it.
I have a show for you, or at least a skit.
Something I...
Positive thinking with Wade, the hippie hall.
Something...
Instead of deep thoughts with Jack Andy.
Right.
Positive hippie thoughts.
Son of a bitch. What the fuck?
Well, shit, howdy.
Well, shit fire and save the matches.
Oh my god. Why would you save the matches?
Because you shit fire. Because the
matches...
matches...
I thought you meant physically save the matches.
Because the matches is valuable, G.
Oh my gosh.
Ain't so many of them in a box, you know.
Give me some more of them sayings.
Oh, what was it my grandpa used to say all the time? Well, shit the bed, Loretta.
Shit to bed, Loretta?
Shit the bed, Loretta. We didn't even know a Loretta. I didn't even know what it meant.
I have no idea. I learned Bob's your uncle, which is a British saying, and the person who I learned it from just kept walking around like going, now you do this and that, and when you put this together, then that happens, that Bob's your uncle. And I'm like, Bob's what? Who? What do you mean Bob's my uncle? Like, I just didn't get it for the longest time. That's British, right?
I think so, yeah.
But Nana used to say, put wish in one hand and shit in the other and see which one gets full faster.
Yep, see which one fills up first.
She'd say all kinds of crazy stuff like that. Old timers.
Yeah, them good old
Southern again.
little pearls of wisdom.
Shh, you guys. This is an on-air production. Sorry about the dogs.
Mm.
We're sitting in here. Food two. We have a gray, little tiny thing that looks kind of like a cat. Not real sure. She's a little creature. And then we have a wiener dog named Meg.
Oh.
She's a sweetheart. She's a dapple. Then we have some kind of a king spaniel. I don't know what he is. He's a fancy boy.
Yeah.
Look at him. He's so cute.
Oh, fancy boy.
We'll have to bring him on camera when we do a live. Alright, so our dogs are being annoying. The last story, I will let Wade take over this one.
Well, David Gilmour of Pink Floyd fame is selling his guitars.
He did sell his guitars.
Oh, I guess they did go to auction, yeah.
$21 million.
$21 million. He had a black Les Paul
They have pictures of all the guitars.
that went for almost $4 million by itself.
Wow.
I mean,
It's Pink Floyd, though.
it is Pink Floyd, but
If I had that kind of dough lying around, I'd get one. Pink Floyd guitar.
I would want, I don't know.
Come on.
I'm a lefty, so, I'd want something from Jimmy.
You don't play it. You never.
I would play it.
What?
Yeah, I'd play it. I'd play the fuck out of that shit.
I would not.
If I spent $4 million on a guitar, I better be playing that shit every fucking day. Because I need to make that money back.
You are not playing your $4 million guitar. Shut up.
I would.
You can't.
I can't stand.
You could ruin the value of it by making it not what that they weren't the last people to touch it.
I know people are weird about that. I have a friend that had her.
It would just be your new guitar.
I had a friend that had her Prince guitar stolen. I was telling you about that girl.
Yeah.
And she said the mojo's totally gone from it now. Because it's too many people have just handled it.
It's true. You know how when someone's like, you want to kind of play your guitar, you want to punch them.
I don't let them because I'm left-handed and they don't.
Well,
get
you don't
to.
let them in. I wouldn't let them anyway. That's why I always keep that piece of crap Yamaha in the corner. So people can come play that.
Yeah.
Yeah, people don't get to play your guitar.
No.
Once you're a teenager and you actually buy a real guitar. I mean, when you're kids, maybe.
Yeah.
Now, I understand why people would be like, it's ruined now. And also, I mean, maybe just play a couple licks and then put it away. But you wouldn't actually play it.
I would.
With a thin pick?
With a little thin pick, just easy on them strings, just floating butterfly kisses.
Oh my God. You are freaking too much. I'm going to release that video of you singing drunk off your ass, singing Bohemian Rhapsody, sounding like some dogs are dying.
Well, you'll have to get that from Eric.
Ooh.
Not my best performance, but it was Red Nose Day. Everyone had been celebrating for the children, Gia.
We did buy a bunch of red noses and take videos. I think I had streamers in my hair, and you had like one of the noses on your Grateful Dead shirt too.
Right, totally.
It's ridiculous, and the only reason why I have not released it is because I'm in it looking equally. It's just stupid. I am singing that song like I am the best singer, and I am so off key and flat and everywhere, and I look ridiculous. And you're over there just feeling it. We both were making these stupid drunk facials.
It wasn't my best performance by far, but it wasn't.
So funny.
It wasn't for lack of confidence.
No. Well stated. Yeah, we were at Madison Square Garden that day.
Yeah, we were.
In the garage.
We were selling them out.
Were we just drinking?
I think so. I don't know. You know, I smoke a little bit when I drink, and I'm done.
Oh, I don't smoke when I drink.
Oh, if I do, I
I can't
must
even
have.
handle being stoned anymore.
Mm.
Makes me paranoid.
I want some really good weed to get stoned on. That's what I need.
All right. Well, on Wednesday, Gilmore announced all the proceeds would go to Clean Earth, a charity that uses the power of the law to protect the planet and the people who live in it, according to the website. That is freaking awesome.
You know, good for him. Really, those are just trees anyway.
Right? Just giving back to the trees. I like that.
Yeah, me too. No, I think that's awesome. Good for him.
Yeah, that's so cool. I wonder who bought it. It's probably, they always are confidential.
Yeah, it's probably a confidential buyer.
Because you don't
An
want someone
anonymous
coming
buyer.
into your house and like jacking your
Jacking your $4 million.
You don't want people knowing what you
Floyd
have.
guitar.
Alright, you guys. Thanks for listening to our crazy show. And as always, check out our archives at www.ipmnation.com/bluntforce. Leave a comment, please.
IPM Nation. Innovative, provocative, and mobile.
When we get 100 likes on our Facebook page, I'm going to release that crazy video.
That'll be fun.
It might go viral. It's so stupid.
I hope we're not close to that.
If this fake spider, this what would you call it? Blown up, exaggerated,
Over-exaggerated
Yeah.
spider story.
That trickery could go viral. Then you're drunken Freddie Mercury is gonna go to the moon.
I was channeling Gia. It wasn't me. I was just something took over.
It's gonna
Something out of pitch.
Oh my god. It's gonna be both viral and infected.
Damn, some of those vocal runs were something else.
Yeah, well, you ain't no Christina Aguilera, my friend. Y'all have a good night.
Good night.
IPMNation.com.